Hello everyone, I Mr. Basavaraj Nippani welcome you all to Sir Kalam Tutorial YouTube education channel. Dear guys, as you all know, in my previous video we have discussed fourth important point of power sharing, that is majoritarianism in Sri Lanka, and we have also studied the fifth important topic of power sharing, that is accommodation in Belgium. In both the topics we have discussed that how power sharing arrangements are done in Belgium to accommodate social diversity and to bring back peace and harmony in the society. At the same time, we have come across how power sharing arrangements are being ignored by Sri Lankan leaders and how it led to tension between different communities in Sri Lanka. So in today's class, let us start sixth important topic of power sharing, that is why power sharing is desirable. What is the need for power sharing? Why in any form of government power must be shared? What is the significance of power sharing in any form of government? That can be studied in today's class. So let us begin sixth major point of this lesson, that is sorry for the inconvenience, why power sharing is desirable. So why we need to share the power among different groups, among different organs of the government? Why? What is the need for power sharing? What can be achieved by sharing the power? That can be discussed here. So we can discuss this topic into two different parts. There are two different reasons through which we can understand how power sharing is important and what is the need for power sharing. There are two reasons. First one is prudential reason and the next one is moral reason. Prudential reason means keeping in mind the gains and the losses, advantages and disadvantages. That is what we call as prudential reasons. Means the advantages and disadvantages are keeping in mind that what we gain by sharing the power and what we lose by sharing the power. Such kinds of reasons are called prudential reasons. And moral reasons means they are moral reasons which increase the moral value of power sharing arrangement. They are basic reasons. They are simple reasons. We can also call them as simple reasons. So let us first study prudential reason. We need to share the power in any form of government because power sharing is good because it reduces the possibility of conflict between social groups. So when we share the power among different social groups in the society, we cannot see any kind of disputes, quarrels, movements, struggles and fights in the country. We can directly see harmony, peace, oneness and development. But when the power is not shared, basically we can see different groups will be fighting to each other and they will be demanding for different kinds of privileges, and when they are ignored, when their claims and demands are ignored, when one community is given high status and other communities are given low status, definitely we can see there will be a lot of fights. So when the power is shared among different social groups, we can see that it reduces the possibility of conflicts. So when power is shared, automatically there will be no fights. When there are some group of people in the country, when power is equally shared among those group of people, definitely they try to live in oneness and they pay their full attention to the development of the country. That is what we see in the first point. And the second point, power sharing is good because it ensures the stability of political order. So when power is shared, it brings peace and harmony. At the same time, it ensures the stability of political order. So political order means what? The government of the country can run very smoothly in a very proper order when different groups are given power, when different groups or when all the kind of people who are living in one society or a country or a state or a nation or in a region or in a province, when the powers are equally shared among everyone, they try to develop the country and they try to support the system of government, and they also try to participate in the process of government, and they also support for the smooth conduct of government. That is what we call as proper political order without any kind of uprisings or movements or struggles. So this is good because it ensures the stability of political order. So always there will be stable government. The governments can give good facilities. The governments can work properly. They can govern properly when there is a stability in the society. So stability means peace, harmony, or the government works smoothly without any kind of problems and issues. That is what we call as political stability or political order. And let us see third point, power sharing works in the long run. As we have seen in the case of Sri Lanka, power sharing was ignored and all the powers of the Sri Lankan government were enjoyed by majority government, that was Sinhala community. But other minority communities were not given any kind of power. That seems very good for the majority communities, for the majority groups for some years, but in the long run it doesn't work because it creates a lot of problems. It increases the alienation feelings in the people of minority community, and also it leads to fights, struggles and movements. So in long run, majority government or ignoring the power sharing arrangements will not work out. So when it comes to power sharing, when the power is shared, it works in the long run. When power is equally shared among all the communities in the society, there will be no problems. So it works in the long run, which support the development of the country. So these all three are prudential reasons. So now let us go to discuss moral reasons. What are the moral reasons of power sharing? First one is, power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. Power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. This is the basic feature of democracy. Democratic government or the idea of democracy says that power sharing is very very important in democratic setup of government, and this is the very spirit, this is the main spirit of democracy. This is the main motto, or this can be called as the basic feature of democracy. And the second one, that is power sharing increases involvement of people. So when people are given power, when people are having privileges to enjoy the power of the government, automatically we can see there will be participation. We can see the participation of people. Automatically it increases the involvement of the people. So people come forward and they take part in the process of government and they support the government. And third moral reason, that is power sharing allows people to have their stake in the government or system. So when people are given some privileges, automatically they take part, and also they try to enjoy their stake. They also try to enjoy their share, and they also try to support the government to work smoothly, and they also used to force their wills on the government when it is not working properly, and when the government is working properly, they also support the government. This is what people take part in the process of government, and they also enjoy their share, and they also enjoy their stake. We can call they will be the stakeholders. So people are the stakeholders of the government. It allows people to have their share in the government process. So these are two important reasons for understanding the concept why power sharing is desirable. First reasons are called prudential reasons, and the second three reasons are called moral reasons. I hope you got the idea about this topic. Now let us jump into the another topic. This is the last main topic of power sharing, forms of power sharing. So now let us try to understand. So far we have discussed what is power sharing and how power sharing arrangements are done in Belgium and why power sharing is desirable, why it is important. Now let us try to understand what are the different forms of power sharing in modern governments, in modern democracies, in the contemporary world. So are there any forms in power sharing? Yes, exactly, there are some forms of power sharing. So in this class, let us study them. So in modern democracy, in modern governments, we can see there are four different kinds of power sharing. There are four different forms in power sharing. The first one is like this: horizontal form of power sharing. First one is horizontal form of power sharing. Second one, vertical division of power sharing or vertical distribution of power sharing. Third one is power sharing among different social groups. Power sharing among different social groups. And the fourth one is power sharing among different political parties and pressure groups. These are the four important forms of power sharing. First one is horizontal form of power sharing, vertical division of power sharing among different social groups, and power sharing among different political parties and governments. Now let us see the first one, that is horizontal form of power sharing. Before going to discuss horizontal form of power sharing, let us try to understand the idea of power sharing. The idea of power sharing has emerged in opposition to the notion of undivided political power. Why the idea of power sharing emerged in the world? So, many years ago, in the earlier history of politics, power was undivided. If you can take the example of monarchy, or if you can take the example of other form of governments, so power was not divided. Power was always being enjoyed by only one group of people or only single person or by king or by queen. Power was always in the hand of king or queen or in only one single group or in only one single hand, such as dictators. So there was a notion of undivided political power. So in order to vanish this kind of undivided political power, the idea of power sharing was emerged in the world later on. For a long time, it was believed that all power of the government must reside in one person or group of person located at the place. So, in the history, in the earlier history of politics, there was an idea. All the people believed that always power must be enjoyed by one person. The power must be residing only in the hand of one single person or one single leader. Then only we can see the development. This was the wrong notion which was there in the earlier political history. But gradually it changed. However, people started getting however people became educated, however people came to know about different forms of government from different countries, however they try to compare their government to others government, so they started feeling to share the powers. Before they believed that always power must be in only one single hand or in only one single group, but that idea of powers, that idea of undivided political power was gradually changed because of new political situations in the world. So especially this idea of power sharing emerged when democracy was established in the world. When democracy came into force in different countries, this idea of power sharing emerged in the world, because as you all know, democracy means what? It is the government of people. Democracy means what? It is the government of the people. Here people rule themselves. through institutions of self-government, and also in democracy people are ruled by representatives whom they only elect. So in a democracy it is very very important that people take part in the process of government, because it is the government of people. So when people take part in the process of government, automatically powers must be shared among each and every single person. In a good democratic government, due respect is given to diverse groups and views that exist in a society. So when it comes to democracy, the main basic feature of democracy is that all the kinds of groups, whether it may be minority community or whether it may be majority community, it may be religious community or it may be linguistic or any kind of community, all the communities must be given equal rights. They must be given equal shares, because the main basic idea behind democracy is that democracy treats every single citizen as equal to everyone, as equal to others. Equality is the main motto of democracy. So because of the emergence of democracy, the idea of power sharing emerged in the world. So in modern democracy, as I have already told you, there are 4 different forms of power sharing. So now let us try to discuss the first one, that is horizontal form of power sharing. Power is shared among different organs of the government, such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. So first one form of power sharing is called horizontal form of power sharing, because you can see here this system of power sharing is called horizontal. So power is shared among different organs of the government, such as legislature, in which laws are made, in which we can see ministers and our elected representatives will be sitting and making laws for the country, which can be that system can be called as parliamentary system. And the next one, that is executive. Executive means when laws are made, they are implemented by executive. Executive ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? First one is legislature, ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗ. Executive means all the laws and all the plans which are made by the ministers in the parliament, they are executed by the department called, or the organ of the government is called executive, karyanga. And the last one, that is judiciary or judicial department. This is the third organ of the government. So this judicial department checks the executive and the legislature. Legislature and executive are always being observed and checked by the last organ of the government, that is judiciary or judicial department. So in which we can see high courts, civil courts and all the other kinds of courts, in which we can see lawyers, judges and many other people who checks and balance the work and process of legislature and executive. So this is the first form of power sharing, that is horizontal form of power sharing. This kind of power sharing results in a balance of power among various institutions, because each organ of the government enjoys their own power and they check one another. So by this system of power sharing, we can see there will be balance in the country, because one looks after another one and one observes another one. So here this is also called check balance form of power sharing. This arrangement is also called a system of checks and balances. So this is the first form of power sharing, which is called horizontal form of power sharing, in which we can see state assemblies, parliament, ministers, prime minister, president, many more things. Go to the next one. The second major form of power sharing, that is vertical division of power sharing or vertical distribution of power sharing. Horizontal means from legislature to executive, from executive to judiciary. That is what we call as horizontal form of power sharing. So now vertical distribution of power or vertical division of power sharing means the power is shared among different levels of the government. The power is shared among different levels of the government, such as when it comes to India, Indian government, then union or central government, then state government, then municipality or panchayat, which can be also called as local government. So the power is shared among different tiers of the government. The power is shared among different levels of the government: central government or union government, and state government and local government. For whole country we have union government, which enjoys its own powers and privileges. And as you all know, India is the largest country in which we can see many states. Each and every single state has its own power to govern the citizen of their state. So whole country will be ruled by central government or union government, and states also have their own government, which is called state government. Not only states, we can see there are different kinds of regions. There are different kinds of regions or provinces or districts or taluks. For all such groups also we have another tier of government, that is local government. For example, local government means we can see governments in the remote areas, such as rural government. In each and every single village we can see gram panchayats. In small towns and cities we can see municipality government and corporation government. So this is what we call as the third tier of government, that is local government. So in this way power is shared among different levels of the government. When it comes to India, in India we have three levels of government. First one is central government, then state government, then local government. And each levels of government have their own powers and privileges. Here state government is not subordinate to central government. Central government has its own power, state government has its own power, local government has its own power. And some issues and some works will be always done by all the three levels of government together. There are some lists: state list, union list, concurrent list. There are some lists which can be studied in the next lesson, that is federalism. So this is what we call as second form of power sharing. And let us go to the next one, that is power is shared among different social groups. So power must be shared among different social groups. It is not enough to share the power among different organs as well as different levels of government. At the same time, we should see that there will be different social groups on the basis of gender, religion, caste, creed, community. There will be different social groups in the society. All those different groups also must be given share in the government. They must have some privileges, they must have some rights, they must have some control over the government, which can help us to achieve success in the development of the country. So here, as you all know, power may also be shared among different social groups, such as the religious or the linguistic groups, which can be also called as community setup of government. This we have already discussed in the power sharing arrangements of Belgium. There was the third tier of government which was introduced by Belgian leaders to help one language community. So that was called community government in Belgium. In India, that is called the power is shared among different social groups. So this community government in Belgium is a good example for this arrangement of power sharing. we can see in some countries there are constitutional and legal arrangements whereby socially weaker sections and women are represented in the legislature and administration. So why social groups must be given some power? So as you all know, there are some groups such as the groups based on gender. So usually what happens, women are not given equal attention. They are not given adequate attention by the governments in some countries. But even they are also the citizens of a country, even they must be given some equal representation in the process of government. So this can be done by sharing the power among different social groups. As you all know, there are many women organizations in our country. So at the same time, there are many organizations such as social groups, labor organizations, worker organizations, factory workers organizations, teacher organizations, human rights organizations, many social groups. So these all kinds of social groups must be given some powers to develop the country, because they must also take part in the process of government, and they must give their opinion, and they must support for the development of the country. So this is done in the modern form of power sharing. That is the third one. By doing this, we can see that all the weaker sections of the people, all the minority community of people, one language community people can get some facilities, and they can also feel that even they are also the part and parcel of the government and the country. Or else, as we have seen in the case of Sri Lanka, how minority people such as Sri Lankan Tamils and Indian Tamils were ignored by the majority community, and that led to great rift and tension between different groups. So it will be not happening if the power is shared among different social groups. Though this is the third one. So now let us discuss the last one, that is power is shared among different national political parties or political parties. Power is shared among different political parties and pressure groups. Power is shared among different political parties and pressure groups. So you can see different political parties will be there in each and every single country, and political parties rule the government. They participate in the elections. And they get the majority, and they forms the government, and they rule the government. And we need to have political parties in countries, because we need some group of people to govern the country. We need some leaders. We need a system of government. That system of government or the leaders to govern the country can be done by the political leaders or political parties. At the same time, powers must be also given among some pressure groups. Pressure groups means when governments are not working properly. For example, there is a BJP government in our country presently. Before there was Congress government, and there will be different parties government in different states. So we need to check and balance the leaders who are ruling us. If there is no check and balance, if there is no pressure on all those political parties or the governments, ruling parties, they will do whatever they want. They feel that whatever they are doing, that is ultimate. If they bring some policies which are not in favor of people, if people do not force the government, if people do not pressurize the government, then what should be done by the political parties? They do nothing. They bring some other policies which are not in favor of the people. So, to get rid of all such kinds of problems, to force the government, to pressurize the government to bring some good policies which are in favor of people, we need some pressure groups. We need some pressure groups and movement groups. As you all see, sometime what happens, we have seen the example of demonetization, we have seen the example of GST, and we have seen the example of many other policies which are being done by our union government. And also we can see the best example, the recent example, 375 article was abolished by Indian government. So during all those time, we have seen that some group of people supported the government and some group of people did not support the government. So these different groups who supports the government and who oppose the government are called pressure groups. So when governments are pressurized by people, we could see that governments work properly, leaders work properly, representatives work properly. So in order to success that, in order to bring developments in the country by the ruling party or the opposition party, we must have some social groups. And even these all kinds of social groups, pressure groups, movement groups, and mainly political parties must be given some power. So in order to success that, power is shared among different political parties as well as pressure groups and movements group. So this is what we have studied so far in this topic. There are four major forms of power sharing. The first one is horizontal form of power sharing. Second one is vertical distribution of power sharing or vertical division of power sharing. And the power sharing is done among the different social groups. Power is shared among different political parties, pressure groups and movements. So far we have discussed about the first chapter, that is power sharing. I hope you all have understood this lesson. So in upcoming videos, we shall discuss few questions regarding this lesson. And don't worry, all the questions and answers relating to this lesson are already available in NCERT website. So you can go through NCERT website and you can get question answers. So I will make some 2 MCQ question answer sessions in my next video. I will see how you will revise the lesson, how you will revise my videos time and again. You can watch my videos and you can try to revise this lesson. So in my upcoming video, I will be bringing the test based on MCQ questions. I will be bringing some 20 MCQ questions. Then I will see how many of you will participate in that task and how many of you will be able to give correct answers. Thank you guys for watching my video. Share this video to your friends in other WhatsApp groups. Share this video in your Facebook account so that all the people can come to know about my channel. And subscribe my channel, press the bell icon. You can get notifications for my upcoming video. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.